Today we've had a very special visitor from Southampton University from the Department of Marine Engineering, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Tahsin to you, and I'd like to ask you to start with, how did you get to the position that you're in now in the University of Southampton? Can you tell us a little bit about your history and your journey?
Of course. So thank you very much for the question, and I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tahsin Tezdoğan, and I'm an associate professor in maritime engineering at the University of Southampton. So I was born in Izmir and raised in Izmir, and I just started my education life through the usual map system. But I was the top student in high school, and then I came to Istanbul for further education in naval architecture and marine engineering at the University of Istanbul Technical University. I think this changed my life. And I studied at ITU and then did my master there, and I started working as a research assistant in Istanbul. So I think this prepared me for my research life, and then I really enjoyed engaging with students and being involved in important research projects. And then I moved up to Glasgow, quite to the north, and to
change,
a little bit and different weather as well. So then I studied PhD in the same subject at the University of Strathclyde. And I completed my PhD in 3 years. Then I stayed there for 8 more years to lecture.
Oh, wonderful. So you've come back now to Istanbul, and you've been around our school and met some of our students and given a little look. What do you think of TBS and the students that are here currently?
So first of all, thank you so much for your hospitality. It's a great school. So I enjoyed engaging with your students, and they were all passionate about engineering, and then they asked me really tough questions about life in the UK and about the engineering programs that we offer. And then I had a nice tour of your facilities. So it's all great, and I must admit I was impressed with their English. So they speak English really well, and then they ask me really good questions. So they are just brilliant, bright students.
Thank you for that. Can I ask you a fairly difficult question? What really is the big challenge for engineering in the next 20, 30 years? Really?
I think climate change is the forcing a driving factor in changing our technologies. So I think also changing climate, so how to adapt ourselves in this changing climate is a challenging issue still. So we have to think about how we operate our lives and how we design the engineering system. So we must really develop more environmentally friendly systems, so more, I think, releasing less emissions to the environment. So I think we have all responsibility to maintain this, so we can do this just collectively. So there are disruptive technologies such as autonomy, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So when I was studying like around 20 years ago, we never thought about decarbonization. We never thought about alternative fuels or machine learning. But now we have to teach these subjects to our students in engineering. So therefore, everything has changed drastically compared to 20, 30 years ago. And we can't really predict what will happen in 10 years later. So we can only scan the horizon for the next 5 years perhaps, and predict what skills are needed for the future, but beyond that it is really challenging. So it's a really fast growing environment, and so it's so exciting though, how we design our buildings, how we design our vehicles are much different from years ago, and we have to be more responsive to the environmental changes.
So that leads me on to my final question really. Our students going to university maybe next year or the year after to do engineering, what tips would you give them? What would you recommend in terms of their preparation for their course? What should they do that bit extra?
I think for engineering they really need to go at mathematics and physics. They have to have a good understanding of science and technology, but this is not sufficient. So, and obviously I'm not talking about language. so they have to be really good at that. So apart from that, I think they have to be aware of what's ongoing around them. They have to be aware of these challenges that we discuss, the climate change, decarbonization, sustainable development goals, for example. So the University of Southampton is offering up to 100% scholarship students, but on return they are asking an essay from them what they think about sustainability and development goals. So they all need to be aware of really these disruptive technologies and their responsibilities as a member of community. Apart from that, I think if they want to better prepare for university life, it may make sense for them to learn a little bit like design software tools. For example, AutoCAD or Rhino Zero, so that they can design a piece of engineering element. This can be a ship, this can be an aerospace system or an aeroplane or a train, it doesn't matter. As long as they have this ability, they can use this. And also, I think a programming code is really a must now, like Python, for example. When I was studying, I learned Fortran, but nobody uses it at the moment. So Python is, I think, is a free tool that we also teach at the University of Southampton. But if they come with a little bit preparation, it will make their life much easier at the university.
Well, thank you. I think that's really good advice for our prospective engineers, and I'd like to thank you for coming back here.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I think that the children, the students really enjoyed what you had to say, especially your little anecdotes about the disasters and what we learned from disasters.
The Titan.
But thank you very much indeed. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.